Well, good afternoon. It's September the 17th, and we are in the fig greenhouse. This is Fig and Fruit Nursery and Orchard, and today we're going to talk about something that's real important. If you have fig trees in a cold climate, it's time to prepare. But you need to make sure that your trees are lignified going into the winter. This particular variety here is Delson Wami Ron, and as you can see, it's just about there. So is Turka. A lot of my trees have started lignifying off. This hardy Chicago, this Mount Etna variety's not even close. Unfortunately, I've been it took a big late growth spurt, and this is Black Greek Marius. It took a late growth spurt, and it's not close, but you can see it's starting to, but it's still quite a ways away. The good thing is I'm going to cut it back down in here when I cut it back, so that's good and lignified. But you know, if you may not, your trees, you may not have these boxes or this privilege. This is Norilla. It's starting to. We're going to walk back here to Smith. Smith's fairly well known for being it wants to continue to grow. This is Borgia Oak Grease. It's getting there. Just have about 30 days, and if your tree is still really green and actively growing, you probably should pinch it. All right, now here's my Smith. You can see it's really tall, but it is lignifying off. We'll pull this big branch down. It's almost 12 foot tall, but look, it's lignifying off. It ain't keeping growing. Now last year I had to pinch. This year I've done something a little different. We've been de-leafing, taking leaves off. It don't look like there's too many de-leafing in here, but we've took quite a few leaves off these things in the last month. Here's Caldodom Nore, getting lignified very well, as you can see. You can see where we took some leaves off. There's Gigantina, well lignified. Mutante's even better. Called a Dom Mutante. It's already better. So what I done this year, instead of having to pinch, to slow the growth down, I've drastically reduced their water. They've only been getting about a half a gallon of water every other day. You can see where I've just watered here tonight, and I water out and around. You'll see over here where I've watered tonight. You can see where I watered out here. There's the base of the tree over there. I'll let a little bit of it get up there close, but for the most part you want to water out and around, not up real close. This is Green Minskarinska. It's definitely getting lignified off, and so is this is Red Shram. Everything's looking pretty good in here, but you need to cut your water back way back to prepare for this, so they stop growing. And if they still are trying to grow, you need to pinch. You need to pinch now. You need to pinch at least 30 to 40 days out before your first frost date. And I'm calling our first frost date this year, say October 15th till November 1st. CDA. Well, we're pretty close to lignified. So, you know, when you're going to cut these back down here, we're in good shape. You don't have to worry about none of this dying back. It'll take the cold weather. So real important. And some other things you need to think about. Now, not everybody's got a greenhouse to store these in. uh, it's real important that when you do store these things, if you're storing them like outside in a shed or something, it needs to be, and you're in zone, if you're in zone 7A or 6B, anything colder than 7A, it needs to be well insulated. And I would recommend a dirt floor versus having a wood floor, because you'll get, that ground will have a lot of residual heat that will, you'd be surprised. It get down to 1 degree and it'd still be 20 degrees warmer in this 2-inch styrofoam box just because of the ground temperature. And then the next day it's above freezing in the box. So I don't use no heat. I don't use no heat to wake them up. I don't use no heat to keep them in the winter. And I put my trees inside these boxes, and it don't matter if it's in a 4x9 tree pot. It'll make it through the winter in here without a problem. I had several in here last year. I think there was about 100 4x9 tree pots in here in the boxes when it was super cold. And I had no problem, no heat at all. So I'm not a real big advocate of spending money on stuff like that. I like to try to find ways to do it without it. This is Ellis yellow long neck. Very well lignified off at this point. All of my trees are very well lignified, or lignified enough along to suit me. Big thing is you definitely want to reduce your water. If you haven't already reduced your water, then you better now. Black Mantazinus, when that one is. This is the coral black, well lignified. It's got a little, maybe a little bit up at the top, but when you get on down here, I mean, you get down here, I don't have no issues. That's all going to be well with inside the box that we're going to cover all this with. LSU, oh yay, well lignified. Let's look at white Madeira. Pull a limb over here. We go. It's got a little green to the top, but it don't take very far. It seems like to me when cutting that water back really helped them lignify off quite a bit. This is Norilla. It didn't take a big late jump like that Black Greek Marius did. So I shouldn't have no problem. I'm within my box about right there, so I should be good this winter going in. And this Turkis, it's set fruit late, but it well lignified off and stopped growing. So lignification is very important for hardiness. And then you really want to also, if you got in-ground trees, in this instance, you want them to be kind of dry. It don't hurt them to get a little dried out, especially if they're in ground. They'll be just fine. Now the potted ones, you may need to give them a little drink of water through the winter, but I'd be real careful. You know, just a cup or two for a 7-gallon pot would be plenty when these things are dormant. Because when we'll come through and knock the leaves off these potted trees, even before it gets super cold. I won't let even my potted trees get below freezing without putting them in this box. You can. Ross does it all the time. A lot of people do it. But I just don't like to take the chance of getting any cold damage. That's just me. So I like to take that precaution. So if you ain't ready yet, start getting ready. It's time to start thinking about your winter month. Winter's coming if you're in zone 7. You got about 30 days, 45 days, you're going to start having some below freezing nights. And the pig season will be over quick. So start getting ready. Make sure your trees, you're not overwatering your trees. And make sure you're got them lignified off. And if they're still green and growing, pinch them, slow them down. One other thing, I finally found the secret to got my coon problem stopped. You can see I got electric fence netting here. I'm looking for my solution. I don't see her at the moment. I was going to show her. Here, bud. There she comes. There's pretty girl. There's my pretty girl. It's a chocolate healer. And she hates cats and she hates raccoons. So you got to kind of, I put this fence up that keeps her in here from not, that way she don't get out and kill my cats. And then if the coon comes in here, she can take care of it. She's a pretty dog. Yep. So thanks for watching.